Welcome to My Business Matters, the Michigan Chamber podcast.
Hello, I'm Amanda Toy, the Vice President of Membership and Partnerships at the Michigan Chamber, and I am your host today for today's podcast on workforce. We're going to take a little bit of a deeper look at Michigan's talent and workforce and where we're at right now, where we've been, where we're going. We'll talk about the talent gap and if it's getting better and how it's evolving. And looking forward to you tuning in today. We have two wonderful guests. It's kind of fun. Our guests today are from two different industries, one from Southeast Michigan, one from the west coast of our beautiful state, and happy to have kind of covering the gap geographically and multi-industries represented today. So our first guest is Scott Ryan. He's the Vice President and General Counsel and Sustainability Officer for Gentex Corporation. Scott, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Amanda. Great to be here.
Absolutely. And calling in from the other side of the state, we have David Weeks. He's a market leader in the Southeast Michigan region from Kelly Services. Hi, David.
Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. So, knowing that, we've got both of you on, we've got great diversity and, where we're coming from and how we operate our businesses, we're going to be able to focus on a commonality today, which is workforce, which is innovative solutions, and just want to talk to business leaders all over the state today, our audience, on what's going on and how we can be creative to continue to bulk up that pipeline and make sure we're running on all cylinders. So, I'd really like to hear from both of you. You've got great professional backgrounds. Both of you have been in your respective industries for quite some time, a lot of wisdom there, and both in very established businesses for that matter. So, if someone were to be in the elevator with you, what's your elevator pitch? When someone asks you, what is it you do and what does your company do? Scott, why don't we go ahead and start with you?
Yeah, great question. Thanks, Amanda. So Gentex, we view ourselves as a technology company that happens to do a lot of business in the automotive industry. We actually started in the commercial fire protection industry, moved into automotive. We now have business in the aerospace industry, and also recently launched a first product in the medical industry. So very exciting times for us as we branch out into other verticals, but using all the core competencies we have developed over our 50-year history to find opportunities in verticals outside automotive.
Yeah, and happy 50th anniversary to Gentex.
Thank you.
Yeah, and on the flip side, David, how do you explain Kelly Services? I think Kelly's been around for, is it over 75 years?
We're approaching 78, so yeah, we're the old person in the mix. But it's really simple. We try to connect workers, we call them talent, with work. Trying to find something meaningful to help them pay the bills, put food on their table, make a better life, and it's really what our focus is, and it's something to wake up to each day.
Absolutely, and David, on the labor market as a whole right now, you have a really unique vantage point at Kelly Services. Is the gap getting tighter? Is it getting more stable? What's your viewpoint for the state of Michigan's workforce?
If you take a look at the state of Michigan, the unemployment piece of it is pretty staggering. For the third consecutive month, we're seeing unemployment growing. That's concerning. I know there's a lot of chatter as I talk with our best customers about what's going to happen with the election, a lot of conversation about what's going to happen with the auto sector with the election, and I think that there's just a little bit of pause right now where we're at in the economy to get aggressive and really build out the jobs that we'd love to see building out between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, and Scott, how does that relate internally to a technology manufacturing business on the west side of the state? How are you feeling about the labor market right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than where it's been, but as David just said, there's definitely some concerns out there as well. If we go back a few years from a labor standpoint, because we do essentially all of our manufacturing still in West Michigan and ship those products all over the world. coming out of COVID, the manufacturing workforce, there was some difficult times, and that seems like that's stabilized, and we've been able to see the numbers and retentions that we've seen more historically. But as we want to grow and develop and future R&D on technology, there are definitely concerns with the overall economy. Elections always are times where people are a little more hesitant to make changes or moves, and so we got to see how that plays out across the industry.
Yeah, and I think that, Scott, you bring up a good point as you look to grow your platform at Gentex. What does that look like for your workforce? We're going to kind of take a pivot off that, but I think you bring up a good point, as especially folks in the manufacturing space in one way or another are looking to, perhaps create a new product, or you may need to operate a new technology on your line. What does that look like as far as bringing on the right people? And has that also improved since we're a few years removed from the depths of the pandemic, or is that still an area that struggles?
Yeah, there's still challenges there. I mean, we've talked, a lot about, those technical skill sets, whether that's, software engineering, maintenance techs, those skills needed to work on manufacturing equipment and high levels of automation. And so, there's still challenges there. There's still gaps there with people, having that type of expertise and educational background for those jobs.
Yeah. And David, on the flip side, so if we kind of come out and get that 30,000-foot view and take a step back, Scott's clearly talking about technology, manufacturing, specific jobs like software engineers. Are you seeing a trend in either specific job roles, if you will, amongst all industries, or just specific industries that really see a little bit more of a gap right now in the state of Michigan versus others?
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. And Scott, your idea of the evolution post-COVID is very real in our industry also. And so, Amanda, what we have found is that those people that have those significant skill sets to be the engineers, some of those kind of roles, they kind of got used to working from home, or working remotely anyway. And so they may not be quite as interested, at least as part of our workforce, to go back into an office. On the flip side of that is the person that does some type of labor or manufacturing, where they've got to be at the customer location in order to perform their job duty. And I've had a number of job fairs already this year, where we're experiencing growth, whether that's from our competitors or because of a segment of the industry. When we have these job fairs, there are a lot of great workers that are coming out looking for work, and I'm really encouraged by that, and think that I give 2 thumbs up for the way Michigan's heading as far as the workforce goes.
Well, that's good to hear, and I think the employers who are all listening in are happy to hear that too. That they're showing up and showing interest in getting back to the office or getting back to the line, whatever that looks like. And on that, David, other than that being overall good news for employers in filling that talent gap, is there anything else that you're learning from those job fairs specifically when it comes to just overarching advice for employers, for those who are looking to increase the number of folks working on their mission?
You bet. My advice would be to be as flexible as possible. We've worked with some of our customers to offer split shifts or 4-day work weeks, things that might offset the challenge of being back in a place of employment rather than working from home 5 days a week. And we're finding that our customers are responding to that and finding solutions that give some kind of a, if not hybrid model, at least give some kind of time back to that employee population. And I've seen it just recently. Several of our customers have moved to that 4-day work week, and they're finding that the talent that's interested in going to work at their location is growing because of that.
Yeah, it's definitely all about being innovative, and I appreciate, even those concrete application-based examples David, Scott, I had the pleasure, some of our team had the pleasure to come out and actually see your operations live. First of all, amazing facility. Congratulations on your very high retention rates. And you did bring a lot of folks back, not just in manufacturing, but in your office space too, and just overall wonderful culture. So kudos to the Gentex leadership team. Can we spend a couple minutes? I got just really geeked when not only with the technology that you're putting out to the world automotively and a few of your other industries, but when we talk about innovation and product design, in innovation, we're also needing to look at how we solve problems in the workplace. And, Gentex was not alone in the problem with, the affordable childcare issues that a lot of Michigan employers are facing right now. And, the ability to get the amount of employees that you need to generate what you want to generate and put out there for sales. So can you just spend a few minutes just telling our listeners about some of the really innovative opportunities that you created at Gentex to solve some of these big issues that a lot of employers are facing right now?
Yeah, happy to talk about this. We love having this conversation because we're excited about some of the things that we have going on. And it was really, a lot of this is just focused on trying to overcome barriers to employment. So one of the things we did at the end of 2020 was started to work on, how do we get people back into the workforce in the manufacturing side. And what we did was we realized that in our area on the west side of the state, in Holland, Zeeland area, there's about 25% of the population that's Spanish-speaking, and a lot of those people are only Spanish-speaking. And those were people that we had, until then, really no ability to engage with as an employer. And so we set up parts of our factory that everything is in Spanish to be able to have these people come in, be great team members, and have their whole operation in Spanish. So their interview orientation, healthcare information, work instructions, the whole experience is all in Spanish. And that's grew into a great program. We have about 235 team members in that program. It's spread across multiple shifts and multiple plants now. And we've also seen an incredible after effect where we've had about 52 people that have come in through that program, developed enough English skills, and now moved into other parts of the company. So that's been a really fantastic program to take down that language barrier for people to get into the workforce. The other one you mentioned a little bit too is childcare, and so we're currently building our own on-site daycare center. We've partnered with Outdoor Discovery. Our facilities got a little delayed. We had some challenges with Eagle, which I think a lot of people that listen to this podcast can sympathize with. But we did launch it this fall with Outdoor Discovery Center using another one of their facilities, and we're excited about finishing up our on-site daycare. But that's really all about having affordable, accessible childcare. ODC is one of the top people in this area, and so they manage the whole experience. But we can set that up for convenient and affordability for our employees. Another one was really trying to take down that transportation barrier. So we opened up a facility, really two facilities in Grand Rapids. One is a tech hub, but the other one was part of a program that we've done with Amplify GR, which is really about revitalizing certain parts of Grand Rapids. And we launched a facility in that area with good, clean manufacturing jobs, and are looking to grow that into another facility. So, exciting to be a part of that whole revitalization area in Grand Rapids that has more accessibility with public transportation than some of our other facilities that are out in the Holland, Zeeland area. And so, it should be easier for people to make that commute or even walk to work. And then continuing education. So I've had a longstanding tuition reimbursement program but we recently partnered with GRCC to develop a Gentex certificate program. So I talked earlier about those maintenance techs, maintenance technician, process technician roles that we have, for all the automation and the high manufacturing equipment that we have. So we worked with GRCC to set up a certificate program where employees, team members can go into GRCC, take this set of classes. We'll recognize that as a certificate that makes you eligible for certain technician jobs within the company. But it's also just a nice pathway because it's built in that if it gets you partway to an associate's degree and gets you onto a bachelor's degree if you choose to do that. If not, the certificate program gets you those skill sets that we have. So it was a nice addition to our tuition reimbursement program. And then we also launched another partnership with Davenport University with scholarships for employees and employee family members for $8,000 renewable for up to 22 credit hours. So that was an exciting opportunity too with Davenport to just again continue that support of higher education.
So nothing going on at Gentex.
Yeah, a couple things. Yep. But.
Oh, it's like so exciting. And on the last point, I think you had 5 pillars there, Scott, that you reviewed on how Gentex is being innovative and overcoming issues with solutions that you can control, and you can create a strategic plan and put a thoughtful process behind it. But, Davenport, they are also a wonderful partner of the Chambers. So really happy to hear that they are just enhancing your tuition reimbursement program that you already have in place. But gosh, what a poster child for showing how influential corporations can be in their communities to support a workforce, to be able to take local community members, to provide employment, to provide a paycheck, but also to provide upskilling. And, I think that leads well into the next part of our conversation, David. Can we talk a little bit from Kelly Services side and what you're seeing as far as, is upskilling the biggest priority? Clearly, Gentex has seen some great success in putting some time and dollars behind upskilling their maintenance techs and some of these other roles. Where does upskilling play a role in the big picture of priorities and evolving needs that employers need to be thinking about?
It's definitely toward the top of the list, and I think it's balanced nicely by understanding of what the jobs are that are available. And I say that as a kind of a two-headed monster. In some cases, the jobs that we see at Kelly Services do not require a degree, do not require a certain high level of skill, but need someone that is wanting to work and will be on time and will be there every day and will be trainable and teachable for that role. So it's kind of those two that go hand in hand. Some of our customers, some of our best customers, do need that higher skilled individual. And in today's labor market, they don't always seem to exist where they're needed. And so that upskilling and finding someone that's close is important. As we talk with our customers for the openings they're wanting us to fill, if after doing some really deep searching, we don't find the number or the exact fit, we go back to our clients and talk about what of these skill sets are most important to this job. What would you be able to teach or train or expose this person to that might help them upskill? And then we start a new search and try to find the talent that is the right fit for them, recognizing that maybe their ask initially didn't exist in today's labor market.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you say, David, that, when you're talking about upskilling and working with these employers with the services that you provide, is that the key strategy for recruitment and retention? Are there other areas of that you can kind of put on your consulting hat to our listeners when it comes to recruiting and retaining employees for meaningful work?
You bet. Thank you for that. One of the things I'm most proud of at Kelly Services is the employee engagement, and that is the internal employee at Kelly and making this a place that people want to come to work and enjoy working, and then taking that forward to the labor market and wanting the population of those that are looking for work to want to be employed with us. A lot of that comes, Amanda, from us investing heavily in the communities that we live in, the communities that we serve. And we look for those opportunities to be present. We look for those opportunities to identify with what's going on in the community. Just like Scott shared, one of Gentex directions was to add an area of their plant that had Spanish speaking as a primary focus. We do those kind of things also, trying to recognize the labor population that we're wanting to attract and wanting to be true to ourselves, but also to be true to the community that we serve. And the beautiful thing about Kelly being based here, our global headquarters here in Troy, there are a variety of communities that are represented by the employees that work here. And if we'll just simply own that community, I mean that in a sense of being engaged and being interested in trying to connect the people in that community with meaningful work, it happens like it's supposed to. And all of a sudden, instead of putting up a sign that we're hiring, it's not like that anymore. You go out to the place that you live and the people that you touch. I'm a grandpa. I've got 5 grandkids. Very proud of that. But the ways I interact with my grandkids and with their mom and dad, and whether it's through the sports they play or the things that are going on at their school, or the things that they do at church, those are the communities that we want to naturally be engaged with and not just put the now hiring sign up.
Absolutely. And folks, the thing I'm loving about this conversation is that we're engaging in conversation with 2 of the largest corporations in the state of Michigan, and how gracefully it just has kind of flowed into the human aspect of knowing the people, knowing the heartbeats in your community, and how can you empower them and bringing them into the fold and get them connected into good work to not only be a good steward of those in your community, which clearly helps build up your community and ensuring a stronger Michigan, which is clearly part of the vision for the Michigan Chamber, but also to be able to upskill these folks and help them for a brighter future. So I'm loving where this conversation went. We took a couple pivots, but it really comes back to what both of you do and what your organizations do. A quick one response: is there one thing that you're looking to engage within your companies in 2025 in a phrase or two to continue to move the needle and be these industry leaders that you are?
I believe that we have just touched the tip of the iceberg, Amanda, in being engaged in the communities that are natural to our regular employees at Kelly. And I'm encouraging my team. We service the Detroit metro area all the way up to Flint, general geography. But we want the people to identify, don't go out and join a bunch of organizations to check a box, but be true to yourself and find those places that you can connect to people that want work, or people, maybe they're business owners that have work, or someone that has a role at a company that wants to put people to work. And as we engage both of those places, we thrive.
That's fantastic.
I'll just echo a lot of that. I think the focus continues to just be a good company to work for and good community engagement. We love what we're doing in the community. We continue to expand that and partnering with different organizations in different ways, and expanding that geographical footprint where we have a presence. And at the same time, continue to grow as a company and bring people in that have different ways to develop. And are proud to come to work every day in the nice, clean facilities that we have, and just continue to engage with people. And like you said, this has been a fun conversation to really kind of turn things around on the human side, and that's really what it comes down to is just good engagement, and let's all do the right things.
Absolutely. Meaningful relationships, meaningful partnerships, and mindful innovation. I'm so glad to be able to join both you, Scott and David, in this conversation. Thank you for your time today. To all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more and get some easy notifications. Until then, be well.